Hi, everybody. I'm Jay, co-founder at Plotdrive, and I'm here with a short tutorial video on how to get the most out of ghostwriter. So ghostwriter has been in development for a while, and my hope with this video is to show those of you who are curious about its full capabilities and how to use it, and those of you who might have not tried it or tried it at the beginning stages when it was a work in progress. I think you'll be amazed to see now what it's capable of as we've gotten it to a much more stable and reliable place. And so you can think of ghostwriter like it is your developmental editor, book writing coach, ghostwriter, assistant, all rolled into one. And ghostwriter has knowledge and capabilities just like you do inside Plotdrive, meaning it can act on this document. It can write text, it can edit text, it can even do it in multiple documents at once. It can create files and folders just like you can. And there's awareness of your entire project. So ghostwriter does this because it's equipped with something called tools. Tools are unique to this concept that's being built in the overall AI ecosystem called AI agents, which are basically just like AI programs that can do some work for you. So they read your intent, the stuff that you type and directions you type in chat. And then they're really smart at deciding, hey, I've got a bunch of tools that I can use to help you. I'm going to decide which one and then go use it. And if I get it wrong, I'm in partnership with the writer, with the user. And my hope is that they'll correct me and direct me to say, no, not quite like that. You should do this instead. And that's kind of the name of the game with ghostwriter. And so you can actually like see here that I just asked ghostwriter, tell me your tools. And ghostwriter will explain what it's capable of. So it can like create documents, create folders, organize your work, can toggle documents for you. And so you can try these out. Like an important thing to know, I'm gonna show this off in a moment. ghostwriter's also got these two modes, well, three modes really. Ask an agent are the modes that you'll be using most frequently when you're working with ghostwriter. Support just lets us hear from you. You can send us a support message. It goes directly to our support team. And we've got an AI that's trained on how Plotdrive works that will answer your questions right away. But we can also see it, us humans behind the Plotdrive team, and jump in and help you out. So in ask mode, you can just talk to it and brainstorm, and ghostwriter will not do anything to your project. When you go into agent mode, it will take action in your project. Actually, I just want to show off the document management. Like I'm writing a book with 20 chapters. Can you create a folder for the draft with chapters 1 to 20 blank documents? And ghostwriter will then decide to do that. And you can see on the left side, it's actually going to do that. And while it's working, I'm just going to scroll up and continue. So it's also got this ability to like read your file structure. So it has awareness of what is in your chapters and what is in your hierarchy. And there we go. Boom. It created 20 chapters, all blank documents way faster than I can. It can also add content and edit content. These are the primary content creation tools that you would use. So you could tell it like, write a hook and a pitch for me that's super short, say 4 sentences max, for a book where I teach writers how to use you, and put it in. And now I can use the at button to call up the file tree and sort of direct ghostwriter where to put it. So we want to put it in untitled document, and it should use add content here to add that straight into this document. It's going to read it. It's like, okay, there's nothing in there, so I'm just going to put it right at the start. And when ghostwriter writes, it uses this AI model up here. So you can get ghostwriter to write with whatever model that you want if you just switch this model. That controls how it writes and edits in the document. And so put it in there. I'll call this hook and pitch. And that's how CoWriter adds content. And if you want it to edit the content, I can say, can you edit my hook and pitch to be 2x as long and make it funny? This prompt can be whatever you want, but I want, oh, nope. So it actually did not do that. So again, in terms of directing CoWriter, if you see it do something like this, the key is, as we continue to improve the tool, no, you didn't use your editing tool. Can you edit my hook and pitch in, and just give it to be 2x as long and funny, and just give it the instructions again. And now it'll call its tools. And so we're working on making sure that that is a bit more reliable so it doesn't like hallucinate its tool call. So if you ever see that, you can just correct it. So what else? What else? That's add content and edit content. It's got a tool. If you've imported a book and you want it to split into chapters, you can tell it to use this split document into chapters, and it will explains how it works. And so from there, I asked it, well, I want to know more about how its brain even decides on what to do, like what tool to use. And so it can explain how it works here, just so you have a better sense of what it's capable of. And the name of the game with CoWriter is experimenting. So like one thing that I like to do with CoWriter is that I think will give you an idea of what's possible. And then I'll show you some of the other bells and whistles before we close this out. So I'll ask it, can you critique my hook and pitch as if you are a master developmental editor from Penguin Random House? Offer suggestions to improve this, because this will go on the back cover blurb of my book at Barnes and Noble. And what we're going to do is make editing notes right here. And I love doing this as I go. I love having this open in a side panel because it can keep what I want to address in terms of how to improve what I'm working on alongside what I'm actually working on in the document editor. So I'm going to take this. I'm like, that's some good stuff. I'm going to put it here in an editing notes so don't forget it. But here's the cool trick that I think will show you a building block of what is possible with CoWriter. Whenever you want it to have a clear context window and focus on a new operation, like you can keep this going if you wanted to. But since I started talking to it about how it works and then how to create documents, it's got like a bunch of context that it doesn't need to know. And I want to make sure that it has like a really good shot at giving me a workflow, a new workflow operation, which is going to be, I wanted to edit this and address these editing notes. So I'm going to actually start a new chat. And you can see chat history over here. So I've got this. You can like rename these so you can refer to. You're never going to lose those chats. And now what I wanted to do is like read those editing notes and address the hook and pitch. So one cool way we can do this that has just been added, it's a unified context system. I'm going to flip on my hook and switch, flick on my editing notes. Now, most of you know who have used Plotdrive a lot, these control like what the AI sees. And so when you flip a switch, these buttons reference that. But now we've actually added that to co-writer too. So you can see it down here. These documents are in the context. And so now it has awareness of both of those, hook and pitch, and say, based on my editing notes, can you revise hook and pitch document to address all the feedback in the editing notes? And again, it'll do this if it's in agent mode. If it's in ask mode, it won't. So if you wanted to use tools, put it into agent mode. And let's see if it is going to apply the developmental edits correctly. So what did it say? If I look at my editing notes, the opening stumbles, 2 a.m. serial bit, dial it back, one humorous beat, and let's see if it did it. And there we go. Main changes. And we can accept it from here. So you can start to think, those of you who are a bit more advanced, about, wow, like if it knows chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and I've given editing notes like about my first 3 chapters, could I actually have it read those editing notes and edit all 3 chapters at once? Would love to hear feedback for those of you who are trying to use co-writer for more advanced operations, because we think with these systems in place, these types of more complex workflows are very, very achievable now. And sky is the limit. So please don't be afraid to experiment, and please contact us in support with feedback, reports on where it's falling down, where it's really succeeding, because that will help us improve it. A couple of other things. There's this help button in co-writer. This will give you access to tutorials. Our YouTube channel will show those of you who are new to Plotdrive how all the major features of Plotdrive work. Also access the documentation. Also, again, you can switch to support mode, start a new support chat. This goes straight into our team to help you out. Going back here, we've got a microphone here. Plotdrive runs best on Google Chrome. This will let you use Plotdrive and use co-writer to just speak into it, which is quite effective for those of you who like using voice to kind of vibrate your book. And you can do that like so. And then the preferences, we can do things like equip co-writer with a voice. So we've got some to start with. You can also create a custom voice here, upload a sample of your writing, paste text directly in here, write instructions manually. And what that'll do is you set the voice right here. And then when you ask it to write, it'll call the model selected up here at the top of the editor, and then it will write in that voice when it's writing. And so if you like using co-writer a lot and you like using it to write, I definitely recommend setting a voice here. Now you could also do this for those of you who have used Plotdrive for a long time by having like a voice document that's toggled on that co-writer is aware of. But this is another way to do it from directly in here. And you won't need to actually sort of have a voice document there. It makes it a little bit easier. Max mode will double the context window. So as you start to cost more credits, but as you start to get more and more context in terms of you get further and further into a book, or maybe you're writing a multi-book series, you might want to put more into the context window. If you want to try that, you can toggle on max mode. If you're a pro user, you can actually use your own Anthropic key, because co-writer itself, the chat, is powered by Claude 4.5 Sonnet. And so if you want to use your own API key, it won't burn your Plotdrive credits. It will just burn your direct Anthropic credits that you pay Anthropic directly. And that's for pro subscribers. Last but not least, co-writer memory. So co-writer has memory that updates over here and it'll learn stuff about you as a writer. You can edit it yourself, but this will also update on its own. And what you can do with this, well, what you can do and what it does are two different things. So what it does is once it knows this, when you come back to your projects, like I don't have enough memory here, it will actually, let's see, do I have this? Yeah, I'm writing this book about how I learned to write. Let's see if I open this up. And let's see. No, that's not it. But if I look for what I was doing here, you can see resuming session, and it will remember what we were talking about as we were working on this stuff. And so that's one thing. It will give you a nudge to pick up the thread after you've had a writing session and come back and resume. And the other thing that's really useful, and a useful way to use Plotdrive, when you think about Plotdrive as like a block breaking writing studio, what you can do is tell co-writer about what's working, what's blocking you, about your mood, about what's in your way. And I'm blocked by needing to end this video. I feel so much anxiety. I don't have a good ending. What can I write to say goodbye to the viewers on YouTube? Break my block. And co-writer will give you some good ideas about how to get over what's ever in your way internally. Externally, you don't have enough time to write, you lose momentum, you're stuck on a finished draft, and so on and so forth. So if you do use co-writer memory like this, if you do start talking to co-writer in this way, almost as like a writing coach to kind of help you regain your momentum and continue to go all the way to the finish line. Again, we'd love feedback to help make co-writer memory as useful as possible to you. So, look, you don't have to be perfect at this. Just start trying things, which is the name of the game with how I came into this video. I use co-writer a lot, helping the team build it, and we're taking all your feedback to improve it. So I would love, I think above all, to see what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe to this channel. If you're liking Plotdrive, we have a lot more cool stuff coming for the end of the year. If you've been with us for a while, really appreciate you. Without you using Plotdrive, folks have written over 300 million words in Plotdrive. Without you, we would not be here. We've learned so much from you to help make this the best possible writing program we can. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And I really wish you a lot of speed and energy and creative momentum and flow as you work on all your stories, both fiction and nonfiction, the writing that matters to you. And I hope that co-writer can be useful. And now there's a bit more illumination on how it works. That's it. Happy writing today. Happy writing this weekend. Happy writing tonight, whatever time it is. And I wish you the best, and I'll see you next time.